Richard came to me for a golf lesson and said, around 8 years ago, I stopped playing. Work commitments, life gets in the way. Now I'm back playing. I want to progress quickly and I want to start hitting driver longer. It's going around the same length as my iron. So have a look at the side of the screen here. The top is where we finished, the bottom is where we started. Now I really want to say this to you. There's going to be elements in Richard's lesson where you go, bingo, I can use this in my golf swing too. And I really want you to bring these elements in. Look at the difference in that. Can you see why you can get very good very, very quick? So what I like about this is, look at the top video, look at the depth that he has. Hands are now hanging down behind his right heel. Whereas at the start, there was very little depth. Very little depth, it makes it really hard to be powerful. We're not using our bigger muscles. But more importantly, let me wind this back to the start. Now, as we're going through this, there's 3 little snippets I said to Richard, if we just get them working, the dominoes start stacking right, you'll get power, you'll get distance, and you'll progress very, very quickly. Now, have a look at the top video. This is how we finished. Look at the takeaway. Much more around compared to the start of the swing. Look how much the club was picked up. I mean, these 2 positions right here are so different. Then look where we end up at the top of the backswing to where we end up at the top of the backswing right here. Totally, totally different. Now the downswing element we worked on, and I can't wait for you to see this, you have to get the first 2 things right first, but look at the bottom video. A real hit with the body, really ahead of the golf ball too much, and very narrow on the way through. Whereas watch this club fall on the downswing. Totally different. So just to sort of bring that to life, Richard started here, then on the way through, got so ahead of the golf ball too early, it was a little bit this way, where we ended up being more round, more behind, more width on that way through. More width, more power. So there's 3 elements. Let's get him and you ridiculously good at golf quickly. God, I just love this drill. I sound like a right sado, but I really do love it. Now, this is how I showed it Richard. You don't need any of this, by the way, but it just really clicked for him, so I know it's going to click for you. Now, the first element we said is you've got to have your left shoulder down to the ground. Now, that's really keeping his relationship to the golf ball, okay? And it's even more important with driver because we tend to, if you look at this, I'll do it from face on, then you maybe go down the line for me. We keep our left shoulder to the golf ball. Now, anytime we become level, look at my circle. You don't even have to go down the line to see this. Look how flat it is. Now, if it's flat and working up and away, what was his club doing? It was working up and away. So I said to him, to start your swing, chest back and left shoulder down. Now, look how that keeps that relationship to the ground throughout and the ball. It just makes so much sense, doesn't it? This hoop really just sort of gives that analogy. First bit, left shoulder down to the ground. Simple way just to think about how that's going to influence your golf swing. The second point, we're going to look at this right wrist, and you'll have seen this in the thumbnail. You'll have seen this in the thumbnail, and it's crucial because the right wrist communicates to the club face. Now, just in terms of what that looks like sort of stood up here, it's not being there, it's really being more there. Look at the difference in that, sort of a 90-45 split, so 90 shoulder line, 45 hips. That's sort of where we got to be, okay. Now let's talk about club face. I was at the Open last week, and it's amazing to see how the pros use little tiny things just to give them good visual cues to really go, you know what, that's how they improve their game. Yeah, I am going to get it in there. I was inside the ropes, and I was on the range. It was so cool. Right. So, I've got a little pipe cleaner here. You all told me what this is called. It's called pipe cleaners. So I've got one of these on my middle finger. It's pointing out in this direction. Now, this is really, really key because your right wrist really communicates what the club face does, whether that be backswing, downswing, or just in the shot in general. Look, if my pipe cleaner's moving, look what my club face is doing. It's also moving too. Look at that, right? Look at that. So what I need you to do, let me use this big golf ball in this direction. I said to Richard, I need that right palm to point to the sky. So look at the pipe cleaner. Look where that's pointing. That's where we need it to be, in that situation right there. Now, we didn't spend too much time on that. I just said, if you feel like you're exaggerating at 100%, give me 20% more, 120% exaggeration, because he was a little bit cupped, okay? Now, you might have seen on the original video at the start where I said where he wants to be, he was slightly cupped. This was just something he had to keep working on. not here, just to here with depth. And it's sometimes hard to get that because watch this, right? As you get depth, you have to be more aware of flattening the wrist. So depth with flatter wrist, that's right palm to the sky to really get that position right there. So that's the second thing we mentioned. We hit maybe 10, 15 shots, but this, I'll be honest, is the key bit of what movement we're trying to get here. So, not here, but we're trying to be... Yeah. Where did I throw that? Straighter. Yeah. Where did yours go?
Down there to the right.
Right, okay. You have one more go, and then we're going to start hitting some shots. So look at that lie on the floor. Your chest, maybe say almost the hands fly through that line before your chest does.
Okay.
Just an idea. That's better. That's different, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, let the ball go this time. Better. So you'll have just seen a video of me in person teaching Richard, showing him the differences between throwing the ball to our right foot and feeling more this way to getting really ahead of it. I've now got another screencast here to show you. So look at the bottom of the screen, and I think this is really important. If I draw a line on his left ear, look at this, right? If I swing him through, you can sort of see how the body moves through as a unit and stands up. Whereas, look what we're trying to really feel. We're trying to feel more of the element you can see here on the top of the screen. Now, as you saw in the video, I got Richard to throw the big ball, numerous times, getting the idea of throwing it and staying behind the golf ball. We actually used this lie on the floor to really exaggerate that. And you can really see the difference here when he actually throws it in the end. Look at the differences in his position. He ends up getting more hip turn, more body sequence, more power, and I'll be honest, I think we hit it about 30 yards further, which is crazy to see, and that was 30 yards on the carry. So with rollout, we're looking more like 50. All I said to him was, and we can do this on the golf course, but place a tee peg inside your golf ball. So this pink one here, place there. I don't want to see your head ahead of that. That makes us narrow and a little bit sort of in this space. To go back to when I had the ball here, it's not thrown like this, it's really thrown like this. That's how we put loads of power in. So I mean, through the lesson I even held like a club up here and moved it out of the way when he was hitting, but I'll be honest with you, you could just make plenty of practice swings feeling more that as opposed to that way. That's how you get good at quick at golf. Left shoulder down, right palm up, and especially with driver, don't get ahead of that golf ball. In fact, let me hit this one away for you. Oh, look at the difference in that. Can you see why you can get very good very, very quickly? Thanks for watching. If you want to get your swing analysed, don't forget, subscribe, turn the bell, and just send your swing to this email below.